Product owners hold the key for prioritization. It's a tricky combination of science and art in deciding what the team should work on, but equally what they should leave behind. But how do product owners master the science and art of prioritization? Welcome to this week's Fear of Becoming Obsolete, where we blend career advice, business agility, and a dash of pop culture. I'm Tom Auld, your friendly neighborhood product owner. Last week, we embarked on a new exciting video series, The Product Owner's Daily Sprint Checklist. We kicked off things with non-event days. In this episode, we're diving deep into prioritization days, where the magic of sprint planning and backlog refinement happens. And don't forget, our video series comes with a fantastic PDF checklist to help supercharge your daily tasks as a product owner. Just shoot me an email at tom@aldllc.com and request the Product Owner Daily Sprint Checklist today. So grab your coffee, tea, or your favorite adult beverage, and let's dive into the daily life of a product owner so we can all stay relevant at work. Warren Buffett once wisely said, "The difference between successful people and very successful people is that the very successful people say no to almost everything." As a product owner, I have this mantra running through my mind constantly. For everything I decide that our team will focus on, including the time, money, and expertise that will be invested, is one thing that I cannot do. It's the perfect example of opportunity cost. And that's why this product owner job is not for the faint of heart. So let's dive into prioritization. There's 2 days in a Scrum event that gives us an opportunity to make priority decisions as a product owner. One during the sprint planning event, the kickoff of the sprint, and one during the backlog prioritization event. Let's break down the day for a product owner when they have sprint planning. Number 1 on the checklist, organize the event. Product owner, this is your event and you own the meeting invite. Do not delegate it. It's a waste of time to have somebody else own it, and then you have to add people or subtract people and you have to run it through somebody else. Just take ownership of the meeting invite and do it yourself. Set the time and date. It should be the same time and location for every sprint to make it easy for people to attend and fit into their weekly schedule. Schedule more than enough time. The Scrum Guide advises 2 hours for a 2-week sprint. If the team is new, say only together for less than 90 days, I advise 4 hours. Over time, as the team gets better at this, you can cut it back. But don't rush through this event. This is key to starting the sprint off on the right foot. And by giving yourself more than enough time, the team can explore ideas, can challenge each other, and not feel overly rushed. Next, cultivate the invite list to make sure you have the right people in attendance. You always are going to have the core team invited. But if there's a subject matter expert or leader you need to help get your work done, then get them into this meeting. That way you can plan out the handoffs and the timings to try to keep it within the sprint. Obviously, we want to minimize handoffs to 0 if we can, but that's not always the case. So get those people into your sprint planning event and make sure it's on their radar and that you can find out pretty quickly whether they're going to be able to help get it done during this sprint or make a different plan. Next, you have to have your backlog ready to go. However you have your backlog, a physical backlog, a Jira backlog, something in between, you've got to own the backlog and have it ready to go. This must be cultivated and curated with extreme care. This is the artifact that you are going to use to lead the entire event. If this is in shambles, the event will be in shambles. The product backlog must be in priority order based on whatever criteria you're using. But you must have a criteria, and you must share this criteria with the team so they understand your approach. Why you have the product backlog in a certain order is key to the team's understanding. Most teams in today's work environment perform better if they know the why behind the work. Just because I'm the product owner and I say so will not work for you in the long term. So have it ready to go. Within your product backlog items or PBIs, you need to have a general description of the work, any key people that should be involved, but the most important thing is your acceptance criteria. What do I mean by acceptance criteria? It's what must be proven by the developers to you to get you as the product owner to consider this done. If a web page needs to come back in under half a second, you need to let them know. If the new machine factory needs to pump out 50 cars an hour, that must be in the acceptance criteria. You must give this to the developers up front. So when they start working, they have an idea of an end state. You just can't tell them to start running and not then tell them where you want them to run and when they're done running. You've got to give them a point on the horizon to shoot for. A PBI with no acceptance criteria should not be accepted by the developers ever. Next, set the agenda. This is so important. Be explicitly clear with what topics you're going to cover and in what order. The team knows there are thousands of things they could do. Just bring in the 5 or 10 items that are most important for this sprint. That way, they can ignore the other 990 items and just focus. Next, team up with the Scrum Master to facilitate the event. Remember, as the product owner, this is your event and you have a vested interest in the outcome. You want to create as much value in the upcoming sprint because that's what you're judged on. But the developers have a different desired outcome. They want to create as much value as possible without sacrificing quality. So they're there trying to thread the needle between doing the right amount of work so that they can meet the quality standards. This is where the Scrum Master must come in to help facilitate this conversation. The product owner is going to push the team to do more than they want, and the team is going to push back. The Scrum Master is there to make sure everybody is allowed to share ideas and opinions, but is also there to make sure the conversation is progressing and a decision is made. The teams I work with, we set a timer for 5 minutes per PBI. At the end of the 5 minutes, a decision must be made by the team to decide on if this PBI is coming into the sprint and agreeing on the acceptance criteria to start. If no decision can be agreed upon, this PBI goes back into the product backlog and is addressed at the next backlog refinement session, which we're going to cover next. This is a better way to focus and agree on what we're going to work on. Bringing in unidentified work leads to bad outcomes and sometimes hurt feelings on the team. Try to avoid this at all costs. Lastly, the product owner must come to the event with an open mind and an openness to negotiate. Yes, you've spent a lot of time cultivating the product backlog and you know it like the back of your hand, but the developers may know something about it that could challenge your current understanding. Lean into that conversation and be open to new information. Sure, you may want these 5 things done by the end of the sprint, but if the team honestly says that 4 is the realistic number, you need to believe them and trust them. So that's it for sprint planning. There's a lot of nuances in there. We get into a few more of those in the PDF, so make sure to request yours today. But you can definitely see why this is a critical event in the success of the team and of the sprint. Now that the team is focused on the current sprint goal and PBIs that we just established in sprint planning, the product owner continues to work on the backlog, talk with stakeholders, and do customer research. Don't forget, check out last week's video to see the top 5 things you should be doing on a non-event day. But somewhere in the middle of the sprint, usually day 5 or 6 of the sprint, the product owner holds an event called Backlog Refinement. It was previously called Backlog Grooming, but there are some dark connotations with that word, so the Scrum Guide changed it to Refinement in 2013. Backlog Refinement is an investment that the product owner makes today to improve upon the product outcomes in the future. Think of it this way. The team is spending time, money, and expertise on the current sprint. You are going to take them away from that work for an hour or two to look at the upcoming work beyond this sprint to help assess its value and break it down into smaller pieces to fit into a future sprint. So here's what the product owner must do. Similar to sprint planning, the product owner owns setting up the meeting, inviting the core team, and any outside team members that would add value to the conversation. For example, maybe you need a business architect or a data architect, a security expert. Get them in the room and then put the agenda together to maximize their time. As product owner, you also have to have your backlog ready to go to help focus the conversation. In this backlog refinement event, the product owner may have an idea but doesn't need to have it fleshed out all the way. This way, some of those ideas can be worked out during this event. Sometimes new information may be shared that will lead the product owner to prioritize this hire, or maybe even deprioritize this work or take it off the backlog entirely. The product owner is leading the meeting and they are making sure to set the environment for all team members to be free to share their ideas, suggestions, and objections. No commitments are made at backlog refinement. This is information gathering, brainstorming, and sharing only. The Scrum Master is an integral part in making sure everybody's voice is heard. If there are some introverts on the team, the Scrum Master will make space for them. The Scrum Master is also there to help keep things moving along. Every extra minute we spend talking about work that may never see the light of day is waste, and we want to get the team back to the current sprint work as quickly as possible. Next, based on the conversations at backlog refinement, the product owner updates the product backlog and maybe schedules other meetings with customers, stakeholders, technical experts, or team members to continue to refine the PBI and make a decision to bring it into the next sprint planning or not. Done well, a product backlog refinement session is a whirlwind of ideas and the art of the possible. Done poorly, it's a slog of an event that people look for ways to avoid. Make sure to work with your Scrum Master to make this event fun, open, inclusive, and engaging. So there you have it, product owners and others that support the product owner. This is your checklist of activities on your prioritization days of sprint planning and backlog refinement. If you didn't take detailed notes, send me an email at tom@aldllc.com and request a PDF copy of the Product Owner Daily Sprint Checklist. Next week, we'll complete our Product Owner Daily Sprint Checklist video series by focusing on the sprint review. This is easily my favorite event and the one that is most pivotal for the success of the product, the team, and the product owner. This opportunity to show off the value the team has just created in the last 2 weeks cannot be understated. Make sure to join us to see how to make your sprint review amazing. Now it's your turn. Did we miss anything crucial in the life of a product owner? Have some unique insights or tips to share around prioritization? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below, or feel free to reach out to us at fobo@aldllc.com. We'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video valuable, I'd truly appreciate a small favor. Please give us a thumbs up, share it with your network, leave a comment, or hit that subscribe button. Your support fuels our mission to spread the FOBO message and help everyone stay relevant at work. Looking to dive deeper in the product owner role? Interested in earning a certification or having a blast at a 2-day in-person training class? Well, you're in luck. We've got some exciting product owner classes lined up for the fall and early winter. Check out all the details at aldconsultingllc.com/events. Ready to supercharge your business agility transformation and take it to the next level? Scaling from 10 to 40 teams, working in perfect harmony is no easy feat, but that's where we come in. Join one of our upcoming Scrum at Scale practitioner classes and let us guide you through this crucial phase of scaling. Not only will you learn new tools and techniques, but you will walk away with a custom heat map for your organization to help keep your transformation on the right track. Find out more and sign up for a class at aldconsultingllc.com/event. And guess what? For any remaining classes in 2023, use the promo code YouTube250 to snag a cool $250 off your next seat. But hurry, seats are filling fast. That's a wrap for this week. I'm Tom Wald, your friendly neighborhood product owner, signing off, wishing you a valuable week. Take care.